Hey guys, another Saturday and another 6 p.m. and another, but the same Virag and ye Rishikesh, right? So there's no another, right? We both remain the same. And I hope, all of you are safe and all of you are, taking care of yourself. Keep on taking that, gargles and, take that steam inhalation because I and Virag, both of us are, have kept one of our eyes inside the kitchen itself, right, Virag?
Work from home has always one step inside the kitchen, so anything and everything to get from the kitchen to help yourself. So yep, stay safe, everybody. It's good to be back, and we will be sharing some insights to us. So today I will start the questioning session. So I will be questioning Rishikesh, and let's see how this goes. We want to help all the young people out there, in the industry who are related with the sales and their sales jobs, and to see what kind of a market does exist. So yeah, Rishikesh, let's begin the session. Let's not waste our time. When this LinkedIn profile was formed, and now as of today, so we both have done a journey, and I'm sure there are youngsters and many people who have networked with you would be asking you for a referral, for asking for job insights, that where they can reach out, whether there is a job in your company. So what has been the scenario with you and your profile, that how many people and what are the kind of concerns or the points that you come across when you when you come across these kind of questions and interactions?
Yeah, so one of the things, where what I feel is that, whenever somebody is dropping a LinkedIn message like for a job referral or something, they're actually asking for a job referral. I think, the idea should be to talk about your skills, like, what can you add, to the existing organization or to the existing company. Because what I believe is that, for a talent, there's no pandemic, there's no recession. Companies will take you, maybe not this company, but the other company will be taking you. So it's better, like, if you can create a video of yourself talking about your skills, what you have done in the past, maybe in terms of data that you have done, like converted 13 clients or converted 12 clients, what kind of a revenue that you actually brought in. That will give a clear picture, to guys like us, like, me and Virag and other people who are on LinkedIn, to identify your talent better and to match you to the right profile. Because every company, someday or the other, they are actually hiring. The second thing which I feel is very important is that don't connect to someone just for the sake of job referral, or maybe, referring you to a job. Connect to someone for the sake of connection. So let us suppose, just taking an example, like I connected to Virag, someday, let's suppose 2 months back, and Virag told me, like, Rishikesh, there's no job inside my company, so there's I cannot refer you right now. So so I should not avoid talking to him, right? I should maintain that relationship, keep on giving him some value additions, you know so you should not, take away that human touch from your interaction, which I feel very, many times seems to be lacking from the people. What do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Rishikesh. You brought in a very good point that, first was leveling up your skills, and then, coming across that the kind of quality interaction that you do on LinkedIn is just they ask for a job. Do you have a vacancy? Then there is silence, and then somebody like you, me, or somebody else has to explain, or some people even don't respond. But then they just keep going on asking for a question like, do you have a job in your company? And you highlighted it very, very well, referring the candidates that instead of asking that questions, why don't you highlight your own skills? I mean, you could definitely make a video. You could upload your resume. We will also talk about this resume part, that how correctly it can be done. But this is a very, very important point, mentioning that highlight yourself, highlight your own USPs. You are a product of yourself, and you are selling yourself to the new company who you are interacting with, and why should they hire you? Especially in this pandemic, people are losing their jobs. Companies are closing down, so it's the situation is really not great out there. But again, coming back to Rishikesh's first point, for the deserving, there is no pandemic.
Yes.
So, do you deserve that the company should hire you? Do you have those qualities? Do you have those skills that once they look at you, once they interact with you, they should feel that this guy should be on my board? We should bring him aboard right away and take it further. So let's see what happens. So for the deserving, there is no pandemic. Very, very good point, Rishikesh. That come out very, very fluently and very well.
And that's right, Virag, because what I see is that so I have had some instances, talking about, like, maybe I met someone 2 3 years back, and he was at a CXO level inside a company, and he didn't give me business at that point of time, right? Because there was no need, and I didn't force him, to actually buy my product. After 3 years down the line, when he switched the company and I switched the company, he came back to me telling that, Rishikesh, do you have this? So so once you're talking to somebody and you're actually pitching for a sales profile, and you directly come to the point, ki sir, job referral laga denge kya? So what the first thing that that comes to our mind is that, this person, cannot do sales. It's very
True.
difficult for him to do sales. What do you
True,
think,
Rishikesh.
Viraj?
That's also another great point. And again, it boils down to the question, why people come back to you. They come back to you because they remember you. Why will they remember you? Because you presented some unique skill that they were looking for, or you were unique by yourself. You were inventive, you were creative, you had some a different style than the others that made them remember you. So these, in the first interaction, in the first line, you cannot just empty about yourself. People will एकदम immediately bore हो जाएगा. I mean, if you start your whole bio from start A to Z, people are not going to listen to you. So what are the you know 2 or 3 characters out of the whole 26 alphabets that people are going to notice about you, remember about you, observe you, and then going to come back to you? That's where the first start should be for any salesperson, looking out for a job, or looking out for a job change. So that's how it should one should pursue about this topic.
And Virag, one more thing is that, most of these candidates think that, if somebody is at a higher place inside the organization, maybe, VP or president or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That guy is actually eligible to hire. But guys, you have to remember this thing, that even VP may be looking out for a job. And many times it does
Very
actually
funny.
happen, right? You actually text a CXO person inside a company, and he respond to you. But then these people start thinking, like, this guy is not here responding, this guy is so rude. And guys, you have to think from his perspective. He himself is frustrated. He's looking for a job switch, man.
What I would suggest is, it's nothing wrong to reach out to people on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
asking for a job, whether they have vacancy in their in their company, or they know anybody else. But if that guy doesn't respond,
Hmm.
don't give follow-ups, because he may not want to respond for many other factors. So just
Yeah.
leave him out, try to reach out to another person, or at the most just ask one final question, that who is the right person in your company who I can talk to. All the candidates who have been reaching out to me to find out whether there is a job in my company, I have been giving my HR email, and I've been
Hmm.
mentioning that, please send in your resume to our HR, and if there anything comes up, they will contact you directly. There are some people who again try to follow up with me, thinking that I am in HR or I'm going to hand over the job. Again, I have to reach out to them and say that your resume has already been noticed, but if there's anything comes up, the HR will be calling you directly. So all the best for them.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
it's, one thing that you can do is that, you can actually start helping that guy, with some job referrals, maybe.
You
Likewise,
should
you find
definitely
something,
try.
maybe a VP
Yes.
level position at some company, copy that and paste that inside the message box in LinkedIn.
The other the other side is, people also do reach out to you, asking you whether you would join my company, isn't it? So what I suggest them is, no, presently I've been occupied, but what I will do is, some people reached out to me, I will forward your resumes to them. So do network. It will help you a lot in getting the right job for you, that what you have been looking for. So yes, you should keep on looking for. What I would like to ask you, Rishikesh, is, looking out for a job could be at different stages. But how soon should you be looking out for a job? I mean, I have been interviewing candidates, right? And I the most troublesome thing I notice in a resume is the job of nature. Uh, just for example, if there is a guy, if there is a girl or a guy who has been for with a 5 years of work experience, but in the last 5 years they have changed five companies, four companies, and three companies. It makes me worry. I mean, especially me. Sorry, I'm a little bit older, so me coming back from 20 years back of say of my career journey. I have had the privilege of learning from the elders that stay in a job for a longer tenure, then
Right.
gain some knowledge, gain some experience, and then move up. Either you
Right.
level up or you change the company for better leveling up yourself. So that has been
Right.
the in the older years. But these years, these bother me. Does it bother to you as well? And what would be your suggestion of or your thoughts on job hopping?
Yeah. So see, so Virak, what has actually happened in these days now? Like people have got a lot aspirational, right? And aspirational, So I'm not saying that people of the previous generation were less aspirational, but
Hmm.
they have got their priorities changed actually. And this is something where we say that the companies should also adjust their policies as per the new generation which is actually coming in.
Right.
Job hopping for me, it can happen because of various reasons. Maybe one of the reasons can be you have a health issue, right? You want to transfer to some other location. That is
Right.
completely genuine to me.
Yeah.
The second can be you actually ended up in a role because you were campus placed at that particular company, but you didn't like that role. Maybe
Right.
1 and 1.5 years you thought that nahi yaar, your campus placement yahan pe hua tha, but I am looking for something different. The third thing can be you have got a very bad boss out there, and this is a reality, right? Like you don't know how to manage bosses. But as Virag mentioned inside his last interaction that we have, that it's better to take bad bosses as kind of learning experience. If you can manage them well, right, you actually learn a lot in the longer career that you have. The fourth thing can be you are looking for more money maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Now the fourth thing, people who switch just because of the fourth thing, I call them idiots, to be very frank, right? Because if you're hopping your job just because of the fact that you're getting 3 lakh 4 lakh extra in some company, right, you're not doing anything good. But if you're hopping because of these three reasons, right, and if you can justify it in front of the recruiter, whether it is Virag or somebody else, I think everybody will understand it, because you have got genuine concerns, right, to actually address it. But then you should have a conviction, right? How can Virag or how can me actually believe that if you come inside this company, you will not switch to another company, within 1 year or within 1.5 years? You should not have an escapist tendency, right? And in order to prove that you don't have an escapist tendency, maybe you can start taking some examples from your life, right? Talking to them like, how did you handle failures well? How did you survived in a very bad atmosphere out there? Talk about the good things, right? But then job hopping is okay only if you have some serious concerns, like you have health issues, you're not happy with the job profile that you have got, your campus place. These days a lot of startups are actually coming up, Virag, and the point is that now ki people start experimenting a lot, right? So people get into a startup, right? After 6 7 months they realize that, yeah, this is just for money's sake, right? I'm not learning anything, I'm not making such a difference. And after 6 7 months they think that no, they have to change a role. So since the number of opportunities has actually increased, and that is why this hopping has actually become more prevalent. But my session for all the people, and my session for all the guys over here, is that don't hop your job just for the sake of money. Try
Mm-hmm.
to convince your company people, your managers, that you deserve more income from that same company. Work hard, create a profile over there, and you will get better money over that. What do you think, man?
Absolutely, absolutely right. So I did understand that there could be several factors for changing a job. There could be that you want to change your location, as you rightly said. There could be that it could be a bad boss, or there is nothing to learn within the same position as of now. So you need some more challenges as well, and that is why you want to change your job. But if money is the first point that you are putting ahead, that is the reason that you want to change a job, the chances are more that you will be rejected in the interview, right? So that's what I practically see when candidates go for an interview, and the first reason, if they put money everything above, then
Hmm.
there are very highly that they will not be selected for the job. But if you present yourself that you have those skills to go up on another level, or you want to learn and take up on challenges, and and your personal factors as well, if something can be managed that can benefit you to prove your efficiency better at your job, then definitely yes. So money should come at the last, I would say, when you're changing your jobs. And the frequency, I mean, you better have good reasons to justify your immediate changing of jobs. Otherwise, I mean, recruiters are even smart minds. They can just smell the reason from the resume.
Right, exactly.
There are years of experience behind them. They themselves have been gone through these painful years. So you better have some good reasons, and you better write your resume well. So talking about resumes, Rishikesh, have you come across the candidates, seeing
Yes.
their resumes, the sales resumes, the way they write, and what is your tips and suggestions for them on writing their resumes?
So Virag, I will take a very small example, right? Since but I was guided by one, the CHRO of my first company how to write the resume. Imagine
Okay,
the
that's interesting.
CHRO of my first company guided me
Uh-huh.
how to make a resume. That kind of a mentor he was. So, and I'm really proud to be associated with that company. Because the people were so motivating over there. And it's very important. Your first job actually teaches you a lot of stuff. So what he told is that what I had written inside my resume was, these are my roles and responsibilities. I have to manage a team of 5 people, let's say.
Very
I
common.
have to create the business case. And guys, and Viraj, you must be seeing that, right? Nobody cares about your roles and responsibility. Talk about figures, man. So even if I write that I qualified this exam, I write it I qualified this exam after 2 failures,
Yeah,
just to tell to the other person is that how much perseverant I am. I
yeah,
converted deals worth this. So what we want to see are the results. What did you bring out? You may be a VP of sales inside a company, but for the past 1.5 years you have not done anything, right? So instead of talking about roles and responsibilities, emphasize more on the results that you have delivered. And that is
right.
one thing which is very important. What do you say?
Very, very, very good point. I would start a little bit from the basics of resume writing. Very recently, many people have contacted me, and I have been screening their resumes, starting from 3-page resumes, coming down to 2-page, and then some 1-page resumes as well. To be very honest, I see a lack of creativity. Uh, Most of the resumes are copied from the other resumes as it is, by just altering or editing the text, and just it is kept as it is. But what they fail to understand, that it is a template. Whatever they draw from the internet, or they get it from their colleague, is it should serve as a template for them, and then they have to use their own creativity to bring out their own self in one single paper.
Right.
I would say that 2-page resumes is very good for a very high tech guy who wants to explain what all he knows, the kind of skills. If he has a long list of pedigrees, what he wants to put on the paper,
Like,
definitely.
somebody like Virag, who has got 12 years of experience, for him to pay CV is perfectly
You,
fine.
you won't believe, I even myself, I have 1-page resume. I will forward it to you. So, for the recruiters, they want to first identify in a guy or a girl, that what is the key elements that would make this candidate fit my company. And the second most important point, don't have one resume for all the companies. You will have to alter your resumes. You will have to put your creativity, that what particular is that organization looking for, and accordingly readjust those skills. You may have 5 or 10 skills, and all those skills are not required for any one single company. So identify, do the research on the company, and just list those skills, so that you at least go to the round 2, and then accordingly change it. So it's like the cold calling that the other day we spoke about. It's like
Right.
you cannot have one single format for all the customers that you are targeting. So you cannot have one single resume for all the companies that you are looking for. Every company specializes in their own field, and accordingly you have to tweak if you belong to that field. So definitely alter your resumes, keep it very short, but keep it very crisp, and highlight your achievements, highlight your failures as well. It would be
Yeah.
very awesome any recruiter to see that how honest this candidate is, and then accordingly, they should get the feeling. Let me talk to this person. That should be the resume. Let me talk to this person. Let me give a call. Otherwise, they receive like 100 resumes, and what are
Hmm.
the chances of how many resumes get picked out of 100? Probably less than 10. So
Right.
you have to be tooting your horn through your resume to have to be selected within, if you have to outshine yourself and come under 10. That
Right.
is that is what I would suggest.
So I will take another example where I go here, right? I won't take your example, but it's very, very much relevant to you, the kind of a life that you had. So if I talk about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, right? And if I write that he was the XYG of DRDO, he did his BTech or maybe PhD from Madras Institute of Technology. His responsibility was to manage the entire team of DRDO. The languages known are English, Hindi, Malayalam, and Tamil. Done. The CV is done, right? And if somebody like me and Virag is actually looking at the CV, he's like, he is one normal guy only. Okay, fine, right? But then if APJ Abdul Kalam wrote one thing, right, that he was the son of a fisherman, but then he became this, chairman or president of DRDO. This is his actual story, and this is where I realized that he is APJ Abdul Kalam. So you have to put your actual story in. You don't have to be like somebody else. There can be hundreds of sales managers like us, right? But what is your story actually makes you different. What do you say, man?
True, absolutely. I will share another story. I do not know whether this is true because this is here and say we were sitting amongst our friends, and one of the guys said that when Indian cricket team was looking for a new coach, well, before Ravi Shastri was selected. So Kumble was getting interviewed, Saurav Ganguly, sorry, not Saurav Ganguly, Kumble and the other guys, whoever was it. So Virendra Sehwag was one of the candidate for getting selected for the Indian coach, Indian team coach. And
Blind
his
eating.
resume came out. His resume came out, and he had only two lines.
Yeah.
I have played for the Indian national team, and I am the coach of the Kings 11 Punjab IPL. So, on a funny side, it's great, but unfortunately, he was not selected. So again, you have to write your story, as very rightly said by Rishikesh. You have to write your story, and you have to write it in a way that it will be appreciated. The recruiter should feel that, let me talk to this person. I'm repeating this again. So don't just copy paste somebody else's resume and make it and just editing the text and by putting your name and address and some achievements and your job and company name. Highlight your points, and only your, I mean, I was consulting an external HR, and she said to me that, I can get you the best resume writers, but they still cannot write a resume for you,
Right.
because you know your story, you know yourself, so you have to start first. And there is, if the sales guy cannot write his own resume, I don't know how he can do a better justice to the sales job that he's going to get employed with. So if
Right.
you are not selling yourself, how can you sell another product? So you better write a good resume to get selected. That is the key to get selected in this pandemic as well. For the deserving, the job exists. You need to keep on searching. You need to keep on reaching out people. You need to network with people, and then, as that guy also to with Rushikesh, after 2 or 3 years, that it happens that the synergies connect, and then you get this particular opportunity, and then you just come along and say, hey, let's get along together. That
Yeah.
works.
It actually doesn't take even 1 second for life to change, guys. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
take
take.
even 1 second.
It doesn't
So be
take.
optimistic and be hopeful.
Yes, yes, that's the key. So the job do exist for the deserving. Just keep sharpening your skills. Speaking about skills, Rishikesh, I just posted yesterday that when was the last time I posted on LinkedIn that
I
when
got.
was the
Yeah, I
last
saw that.
time
Yes.
you any of you, actually I put it as sales skill, but I should have just put skill. When was the last time you were trained for any skill development? I don't know. I'm especially surprised. People voted maximum for the last option, which was not yet trained. The least option is, of course, 2021, because we just completed 4 months of this year. The second best option is still not 2020. It was years ago. So this is a sign of worry for me, for all the salespeople. If you are not honing your skills or developing your skills, it is very difficult for you to move up or level up in the same company. Or rather, I would put it this way: that how will you compete with your colleagues and outshine yourself and take the best achievement award? What do you
Absolutely.
think, Rishikesh? What is this situation? What is this poll of mine of yesterday strikes to you when I'm disclosing the results that the maximum was for no training attended yet?
Right. Yeah, Virag. So, so what I do is that, I will talk about myself, right? So what I do is that, I actually follow my boss very closely, right? The things that he does. And I keep on interacting with the marketing team, the marketing automation team, the finance team, the all the team. And what I do is that while I'm actually interacting with them, I'm actually focusing on the words that they are using actually. Like if
Correct.
they use some marketing automation, like this active campaign is a website where we can do that. What I do
Mhm.
is that once the call ends, I go on LinkedIn Learning and I do a small course on that. I copy my boss because I want to reach that place, right?
Very, very well said. Very, very well said. That's the inspiration. I mean, if you want to become that next level, start behaving or start acting like one right now. That is how you will inch yourself. That is how you will hone new skills and develop new skills. Because whatever you did last year, and if you do the same things again this year, is not going to get you a better job or a better position in your company. So what is it that you are willing to do something extra or something different or something new that adds up to your journey? And that is what, not only, and do this for yourself. Do not do this for the organization that you are working for. Do this for yourself. Ask yourself every single year that what is it I'm at the beginning of the year, that what is it that I'm going to learn new in this year. For some reasons it could fall apart, but at the end of the year, again ask yourself the same question: what did I learn new in this particular year?
Yeah.
There's no problem if you miss it out, but do make it a point that at least every single year you at least learn one new skill. And it's not just learning a new skill, you have to implement it, you have to use it. There is no use learning a new language but if you're not speaking it.
Yeah.
You may know a few words here and there, but that's not, I mean, one certificate does not define your skill. If you are not using it, if you are not talking it, if you are not implementing it, that skill is just a waste. I mean, it's a matter of months that you will just forget it.
Yeah.
So develop every skill. It could be a writing skill, it could be a communication skill, a technology, the product skill. The company will teach you definitely because they have to. Until and unless you do not know the product at the back of your hand, you just cannot sell it. But what Rishikesh and I are speaking are the skills that the company actually looks into the individual. What extra do you bring to the table
Right.
that the company can benefit from? So those skills are pretty important. Rishikesh follows his manager. Every young individual should do the same thing because whenever you join a new company, the vision is little bit blurry.
Yeah.
So the
Right.
immediate what you can target is your reporting manager. And if
Absolutely.
he's the favorite in the company, those are all the skills necessary that the company is looking out for you
Right.
within you. So that's what you should focus on. And then once you come to a mark that you kind of achieve, the necessary skills, and then keep on adding even what your manager does not have.
Yeah. Right.
So that would be a very good stepping stone. So that is what I would say, Rishikesh, for skill assessment, or adding a feather in your hat every single year.
Yeah. Make learning your nicotine.
Yeah, so I believe that that was a very good session for helping the youngsters, and any not only the youngsters but every single salesperson or all the people stuck in a job, or you want to change a job, or you have lost a job, and how do you make yourself deserving, or you want to level up, and getting all those skills. I think it would have been helped you. I believe that we will keep bringing these topics. Please share with both of us that what other topics that you would like us to cover, and we both will have some 1 weeks of time to brush up and speak to even bigger people in the industry, and then come back to you and share with you with our own experience as well.
Absolutely, Virag. I think this session will be quite useful for all the guys, and keep on posting your questions inside the comments so that we come to know that what are you thinking of. And remember, sales is not a skill; it's a life skill. So everybody has to sell himself or herself till the time we are dead, right?
Yeah.
Every time we have to sell ourselves. So take it as a life skill, guys. And this is very important. And don't remove the human touch. Don't remove the human touch. We are all human beings. You see COVID happening, right?
Yeah.
The best thing which is working right now is the human touch.
True, true, true. Very, very well said, Rishikesh. So on that note, can we let's end the session and then work on for the next session. So we will be back next Saturday, 6 p.m. This session will last only for 30 minutes. We will be keeping the topics very, very crisp with their own data. If you're dissatisfied, also share your feedback so we could come back with the same topic with some new points. So, anyways, let's sign off,
Absolutely.
Rishikesh. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.